fourth wall.
Oh, yo, what up? What up? What up? It's John Escudero, and I'm trying desperately not to say the F word within the first 5 minutes of the stream.
You're right, keep it going. Oh my gosh, fellas, it's the first time in a long while we've had all three of us on.
Yes, sir.
We're back together. I tangled up my fucking microphone wires here.
It's Flark and Arson.
Trying to fix this shit without unplugging everything and losing everybody.
You cussed.
Yeah, I got no fucking headphones on too.
You did it again.
Nothing's happening here.
I can't hear shit. Nick, Greg, why don't you talk to the people? Oh, this motherfucker called me BBL John.
Well, John cusses for the third Flarkin time. Welcome to Dirt Sheet Radio, everybody.
Still didn't get to 5 minutes.
We'll see. It's okay. They don't monetize us yet anyway.
Man. Jesus just spoiled the Acolyte for me. That's great.
I don't think. I think you read it. If you skim that comment, you may get a different thing that actually happened. I will say that. That's not what you think it is, sir. Yeah.
Incredible.
What up? What up, man? Happy Prime Day, everybody.
Yes, Prime Day, let's go. Make sure you get your orders all in there ready to go.
Yes,
why don't you guys talk to everyone for a second while I fix this shit?
I actually just got mine in an hour ago, and I am banking on the fact that I get paid in the hour, so I don't have to feel it.
Yeah, I ended up spending much more than I intended to. I managed to not be MJF and just spend unnecessarily like $200. Didn't want to. Somehow that happened.
Somehow.
That's me out.
What would you like to share what you picked up?
What did I pick up? That's one of the things. It was me just kind of impulsively buying things. So like, ooh, discounts. I'm
alive.
Swiss Army knife. I got a couple boxes of Yu-Gi-Oh cards. I got a new watch band, a bunch of hats.
Nice.
Very
nice.
Oh yeah. Oh, we talking about what we bought on Prime Day?
Yes, we are there,
man. I wait for Prime Day all year just for Blu-rays. Prime Day, Black Friday, all the Blu-ray holidays. Anytime somebody's gonna put 4Ks on sale, I'm there.
I don't think there's such a thing as a Blu-ray holiday.
They're real. Black Friday is a Blu-ray holiday, baby. Yeah, hell yeah. But listen.
That's great. Now I got a Across the Spider-Verse video. That oddly is the one that's not gonna come immediately. That won't be here till August, but whatever. It's $12. Yeah, it was weird. I ended up getting also a 4-disc set of the Rocky movies in 4K.
Very nice.
So it's only 1 through 4, which are the ones that matter.
Does it have the codes? Yeah, this is the real. We share a voodoo, damn it. Does it have the codes?
I hope it does. I don't know if it gets here.
God damn it! I bought movies with codes, Greg. I was thinking about us.
No, it looked recent-ish. It said 4K.
There's like 400 movies. This is the voodoo. This is the I don't take too much pride in the voodoo collection because of the idea that they can just take it away someday. Like it's like we don't even own the movies. You know, like we own the what is it called, the revocable license?
Yes.
Get the how am I supposed to be proud of that? Like, look at my collection of revocable licenses.
Who needs physical media? You got the revocable license up in here.
Yeah, man. I mean, but it's great though. It's great to have that at least while we do.
I also got in 4K a season of Star Trek: Strange New Worlds.
Oh shit! Nice, very nice. I'm glad those streamers are putting stuff on physical media for us to buy.
Paramount has been pretty good about that.
I'm still waiting for Daredevil, dog.
I'm so sorry.
Damn, that's crazy.
That's crazy.
That's great. No, for real. Like all those. Anyway, I bought a whole ass box. I got a big ass MCU box that my wife got.
They haven't put out any of the MCU series, have they?
The Disney Plus they started already. They have.
I meant physically.
Oh no. Fucking bullshit.
None of that.
Jesus brought up something I did want to talk about. This motherfucking thing stopped loading in the chat. Anyway, where'd it go? Where'd all my fucking chats go? Oh, there they go. This stupid machine. Trey Murphy talking about AEW earlier. Tonight, AEW was from We Live. Yeah, I agree.
What?
No, he brought up MJF earlier, and I'm pretty sure he was talking about that crazy 1 hour match on Dynamite tonight.
Yes.
But Jesus brought up something about ROH creative is supposed to be changing and getting better. Really, what he's talking
Did they
about.
hire you?
I wish. What he's talking about, I'm honestly, I wouldn't even be any better than Tony Khan. Just like
I was gonna say that could be a no. John will take the job.
don't give it to me. I'm an actual sicko. I'll book for me.
John's one of the elusive, illustrious sickos.
Oh, Arkansas, from where you live. Fuck, I couldn't get that. I don't know what's wrong with me.
Kansas.
That's what's up, man. Did you get it to the show? And if you did, I hope you were loud, because not everybody in the arena was. But Jesus brought up.
You know what else isn't loud? That ring.
I hate that. There was a report that came out earlier this week, a couple of days ago, that says AEW's upcoming tapings in Arkansas was in Arkansas. AEW's upcoming tapings in Arlington, where in Texas, where they're gonna do those 6 or whatever weeks straight of tapings
Esports Center.
In the Esports Center. Our boy Jesus is gonna be there. They're supposed to be a more focused creative for Ring of Honor, because they're gonna be taping in the same place for 6 weeks straight and taping multiple episodes. They're supposed to be the next big group of ROH episodes, I guess, leading into Death Before Dishonor, and I'm not sure if following. Are there ROH tapings following the pay-per-view? Anyway,
I have no idea.
At least the creative leading into the pay-per-view is supposed to be more focused.
Good luck with that.
Dude, it's just they hope. It sounded like It sounded like Fightful spoke to a source that was hopeful that because this is going to be a centralized group of Ring of Honor tapings and not just something attached to AEW, like they're actually building towards Death Before Dishonor in the same building to the same group of fans. It's kind of similar to what they had when they were in the fucking Universal Studios Center or wherever it's called, the Impact.
Like all the dark stuff.
Yeah, which I miss dearly.
They should call it the Dark Zone.
This is supposed to be similar to that, so there's some hope that it's going to be great. And I'm like, well, that's fine.
That sounds creepy.
I'm like, that's fine, but what happens after they go back to normal, right?
Wow, look, nothing.
It just goes back to being what it was, what people are complaining about.
Fake dark.
So
Dark of Honor.
What do you think Tony should do to fix Ring of Honor? And I mean, I'll ask you guys in a second, because I brought mine up before. It's an easy fix. I thought it was just focus on your fucking Ring of Honor talent. Just create talent for Ring of Honor, that's instead of talent that gets built on Ring of Honor, comes to AEW TV, loses, and goes back to Ring of Honor. That doesn't do anybody any fucking favors. But what do you think, Greg?
I think Ring of Honor needs a distinctive voice, and that's a big problem. Why would you watch Ring of Honor when you can watch AEW and it's the exact same product? Other than that, it's a difficult ask in the sense that AEW is already asking you to watch 5 hours of programming a week.
Yeah,
with just their mainline stuff.
If you're a big fan, if you're a big one, you'll watch Rampage too. Yeah.
So, and then you got the Ring of Honor show that you have to go online to get. They're asking for a lot, in my opinion, for a show that is not first off, is not even high quality, but most importantly, is not unique. So like, what do you do with Ring of Honor other than stick with people who are specific to that brand? And the other one they've really done anything with is Athena, right?
Yeah, she's pretty much like the biggest and only thing. And look at how she's treated though, right? She's exclusive to Ring of Honor.
Right, and she's pretty much main evented that show at this point, hasn't she?
Yeah, consistently too.
Yeah. So like Athena's the biggest star of Ring of Honor, and that's all they got. We've had several Ring of Honor World Champions, and they spend more. It seems like they spend more of their time on AEW for no goddamn reason.
we mentioned earlier Mark Briscoe too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Dynamite recap show.
Like, it needs a distinctive vision. It needs just straight up better booking. It needs guys that are kind of just exclusive to it, and the difficult part is it needs like at some point you have to say it needs really good guys that are exclusive to Ring of Honor that make you go, wow, I really like this guy. I want to go watch the Ring of Honor show. And how long does it take before you start going, hey, that really good guy should be on my goddamn AEW show? Like, it's a really tough position.
I think if you discipline yourself and you make it so like, if you're a booker and you discipline yourself and you say, okay, no matter how hot these guys get, no matter how good they are, we won't touch them for at least this amount of time.
Right.
It's like you said, you'll create a distinct voice and vision for Ring of Honor and a lot, and that's really the biggest thing. Jesus, I'm not trying to see Brandon Cutler on Ring of Honor.
You're gonna get it. You're gonna get Cutler and Cabana together.
Sure. And now, like, the difficult thing here is that once again, so we're discussing about creating a unique voice, right? The thing I'm complaining about is the thing that made NXT work. Not only like it was a unique voice, even though it was a streaming product at the time.
Yeah.
Right? It was like strictly a streaming product that just really cultivated people's imaginations, and it was able to like really emotionally draw people in. The first problem you have with that is that is that Ring of Honor is behind its own goddamn paywall.
Yeah, that's a big one.
For people who are not affiliated with the Ring of Honor idea anyway. But those are problems that can be defeated because to some degree WWE did do it when they had their stuff behind that paywall. People still showed up for NXT.
Yeah.
I think too, one of the things to consider is the fact that AEW has been relying on Ring of Honor to the point of it being, this is where we're going to have, what we don't have for Dark and Elevation anymore. This is what's going to be our like testing ground for like certain wrestlers we bring in. And at the same time, it's one of those things where it's like, people will come regardless to whether or not we promote it or not. So if you're a hardcore of the hardcore fans, you're going to tune in regardless. And it feels like they haven't done a good job promoting or selling most of these things. I don't care necessarily seeing champions on AEW TV like other people do. For me, it's more so like it doesn't feel like they're appearing as like a big deal. Like whenever an IWGP champion shows up on AEW TV, they feel like it's a big deal. But when a Ring of Honor champion appears on TV, it's just like, hey, look, they're holding a prop.
Yeah. It's also the fact that he's not going like with Mark Briscoe specifically. Like how many Ring of Honor taping matches is he doing? I
can't think of any.
Kyle Fletcher, Mac brings up in the comments, Kyle Fletcher lost the Ring of Honor title in CMLL, and nobody brought it up once. It just left it down there.
It's on Mystical, right?
It's on Atlantis Jr.
Atlantis Jr., yeah, sorry. No, Mystical's working with Jericho.
Racist. They're not all Rey Mysterio.
Oh,
no, that's not fair. That's not fair. Mystical was in a program with an AEW guy. If anything, I got my white people mixed up.
Oh yeah, no, but yeah, pretty much we're all agreed on the idea that just ROH doesn't have its own vision, and it technically is just AEW Dark with a new skin.
That's literally what it is. And then too, here's another point to bring up: when you watch a Ring of Honor show, what would it be different from what AEW currently is? And when you think back to especially what Ring of Honor was in its last few years, especially what did it bring to the table that you didn't already get from AEW?
I mean, John says it all the time. Like AEW was the thing Ring of Honor was supposed to be.
Exactly.
I'll never stop believing that. It really is, because you grow up, you hear about ECW and this story of this little engine that could, and it did, and the only reason it died was because of mismanagement. And so, you get this idea that watching ROH grow and grow and grow from the fucking rec center in Philadelphia to the fucking arena in Madison Square Garden. It was supposed to be you idiot, you fool. I never feel bad. You want me to feel bad? I love Ring of Honor. Ring of Honor is my soul. That shit is what pro wrestling is to me. And essentially AEW took that torch and carried it and moved on with it, and they dropped it. I don't feel bad because I watched it happen. I lived through it. It affected me personally. I feel like I can feel however I want. I was there the whole time.
There is an episode of this show somewhere deep in John's heart about the entire 2-year run of Ring of Honor sucking at the teat that was New Japan Pro Wrestling and the Bullet Club, and how it tanked them.
That's what it was, an over-reliance on them, and then when they left, they had a hole in their chest.
They took everything.
Ripped their fucking heart out. You had nothing.
My favorite part of it was let's not only bank on these Bullet Club guys and the New Japan guest stars, but let's leave so many of our guys out in the cold. Namely, the biggest guy that we had nurtured and cultivated, from who was absolutely just weak sauce before we got Truth Martini with him, in Jay Lethal. And then when New Japan pulls out, and when some of the other Bullet Club guys get signed, let's take ice cold Jay Lethal and throw the belt back on him like nothing changed.
For me, the last straw was, after all that, they were still able to get Marty Scurll over. And I this is before.
Obviously before the whole thing happened.
Right, we don't know that he's a pedophile or whatever, not even, whatever the fuck he is, a predator. There it is. That's the word.
Let the record show I was hating Marty before it was cool.
I thought
that is me. That is me with what's his face, hairy chest, Joey Ryan.
Joey Ryan, yeah.
This is it. This is exactly
I was hating Joey Ryan before it was cool. Now and once all that came out, I was like, I told you from the start.
Okay, but everybody that watched Joey Ryan had to have a thought in the back of their head that it was a possibility.
It's like, well, maybe.
This is why when I was like, Jushin Liger's getting on this, like, Jushin, no.
But no, what I was gonna say was my last straw with Ring of Honor. This is why I'll never feel bad, because even after they cured cancer, they had fucking Marty Scurll. He was over as fuck. He was involved in Ring of Honor and NWA. He was headed into an NWA championship match. They had an opportunity to do something really cool.
I'll even say the entrance was really cool and the music was badass. The whole thing worked.
And they put the belt on Matt Taven.
Yes.
What the fuck? I was in the building. Yeah. I felt my heart break. I was deflated. I was like, this is it. Like, I can't do this anymore. And that was the biggest heights they would ever reach. And in the biggest stage they would ever fucking reach.
This is the second time tonight we talked about how Matt Taven has ruined things.
The biggest stage they would ever reach.
Was this on AEW?
No, oh yeah, we talked about it on Dynamite. I can't remember why we were shitting on Matt Taven.
We just brought up
Funny sounds a
Lethal
good
and
time.
Taven.
Oh, I was shitting on the Lethal and Taven 60-minute match.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh
Did
gosh,
they do one?
they did one, Greg. Please.
Oh
don't
my
make me
God.
relive it.
No, okay.
It was rough.
I laugh because when you say that, I'm. It's not the one I think of. I'm reminded of the fact that Lethal did one with Roderick and it was garbage.
Oh shit. Oh you. Oh, I know exactly the one you're talking about. I was at the rematch. But
I'm
yes,
sorry.
I'll never feel bad. I'll never.
Oh,
you
no.
know, all of this to say, Oh fuck, that's right. Jesus, they did the Enzo Amore shoot angle, and they didn't tell the New
Oh.
Japan
I
people
don't
about
remember
it.
shit. That never happened.
That Tamatanga says the same thing, I'm sure. Well, all that to say, I loved Ring of Honor with all my heart. I grew up on Ring of Honor. I'll never forget what Ring of Honor meant to me. It will always mean that to me. But they killed themselves. They deserved what they got. And Tony Khan was kind enough to save it from the fucking dredges. The vault. The McMahon vault.
Yeah.
Do you know Dragon Gate USA is in there? I didn't know that.
Really?
What the fuck?
Do they own the rights to that stuff?
They got Dragon Gate USA, Greg. They got Dragon Gate USA matches on the WWE Vault YouTube channel.
Oh, on WWE's vault. Okay, I wonder if I'm on one of those.
But they own footage of you, sir.
They might. I don't remember.
They do, sir.
Do they have Evolve?
Yes.
Yeah.
They have Evolve and Dragon Gate.
Interesting.
Apollo.
That means there is a possibility that somewhere on Peacock or somewhere in the vault there is a clip of me working with Harlem Bravado, now known famously as Andre Chase.
That's awesome. I didn't know you were in Harlem Bravado. I was talking about him on
That's awesome.
the
I
NXT
did.
guys on the podcast on NXT on Tuesday. They didn't know that he used to wrestle on the Indies because they were all surprised at his performance at the pay-per-view, and I was
Oh,
like,
they never heard of the Bravados?
yeah, and I was like, you guys didn't know about the Bravado brothers? Like, that's Harlem Bravado. Like,
Yes.
I'm still
Yes.
happy that he got a job here. Like,
Wait,
they
so
were-
you don't know? I didn't tell you about my segment?
You might have, but I always remember the story of you and Patrick Clark and
Yes. Leo
Leo
Rush.
Rush. Yeah,
Yes.
I always remember that story, but I don't think I knew the Evolve story.
Quite the cult personality you got over there.
Yeah, right. I did a spot as a nobody, and the idea was that we were these guys that the Bravados were bringing in. It was me and Earl Cooter, now known as Brian Idol, famously working for the NWA. Whoop whoop. And we were just going to be guys that probably fodder to throw in front of somebody. You know what I mean? And then they bring out fucking former TNA World Heavyweight Champion Moose, who we are actually fodder for. So me and Earl Cooter got our asses beat by Moose, and I took a slightly horrendous F5 into a chokeslam bump, and then a spear.
What the fuck is an
And the-
F5 into a choke slam? What the hell?
That's cool. And it's
Bang.
I can kind of dig that.
That's cool.
And
I'm sure you're feeling that after.
I was, yes. But that was the funny thing about it. Like, that bump sucked. I've got to get up for the spear now.
Yeah, exactly. Your poor central nervous system, Greg's spine.
But
Then I powdered out, and that was the end of my night. But it was a good time. We got to have fun. I was up there they didn't really give us much direction, so I was just sort of making it up as I go along. I had a fun little moment where because the joke about the Bravados was that they were kind of funded by their rich grandmother. It's like they were worse than mama's boys; they were grandma's boys. and with absolutely no cueing, it was it just looked really funny to be on camera when the actual crowd starts a whole chant of fuck your grandma. I think I go up to Harlem and just cover his ears and just like, your grandmother is a tremendous person. Don't listen to that. Beautiful and kind soul.
He's doing great though. He's got that Chase U stuff going on. Chase U's over as hell. Thea Hale going for the NXT Women's Championship.
I call him Pavano just kind of came out of nowhere and just like, oh shit, look at you doing things.
They were surprised. Yeah, like I said, they were surprised that he was doing shit. They were like, he had a fucking what was it? The Canadian Destroyer, and I was like, what the hell? He did on a paper.
It's so easy.
I was like, he's done so much more. But yeah, it's moving on. I guess
some other people on the NXT show, kind of in the newer caliber of wrestling fans.
I don't exactly watch the show, but I've watched some of it. I see the clips. I know what's going on because I direct the NXT stream.
Of course.
I now knowing what's going on and obviously watching it with the lens that it's NXT and they're like children and they don't know shit, so I don't judge them. Like, I don't judge them harshly. Like, if it sucks, it sucks, and we'll move on. But if it like keeps sucking, I'm like, well, this child is failing. Time to get out of the school. But I like no, I was gonna say that's very cool as well. But I like watching them grow. I like Thea Hale. I like her. She's great. She's got great like facial expressions. I'm like, this girl's you've got to do something with this. But
Max triggering me with all of the Pierre Carl Ouellet references.
PCO. I'm so surprised AEW hasn't booked him in a one-off for anything yet. Honestly. He seems like right down their alley in regards to like one-off appearances.
I just want a one-off somehow, some way. Talk to Jacques, get him out of retirement. I want Quebecers on AEW TV.
Is one Mountie not enough for you?
Need two of them. Then they can arrest Caesar.
That's such a GCW show thing. Like, they'll get this piece. I just choked on fucking
Jesus Christ.
Are you okay?
No.
Is it the thought of the Quebecers on AEW TV too much?
It was the thought of this PCO dressing up as a Mountie. Could you imagine? This version Mountie? Of PCO, this Franken Mountie.
Is it any weirder than like Chikara convincing X-Pac to shave and do the 1-2-3 kid gimmick one more night?
No, not at all. I was gonna bring up that Jesus might have hit it on the head. I never really thought about it, but I think that's the only thing I care about on NXT. The women. And I don't mean that in like a pervert way. I mean like in the rest.
Somebody does.
Not like Booker T, but you know. Like,
oh yeah, man.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, that's right. PCO is still under TNA contract.
Really?
Yeah. Good for him.
Promising young star.
Anyway, we're just gonna go through the week and talk about the shit that's gone on tonight. You watched Dynamite, Greg?
I did get to watch most of it. I mean, the first hour was all one match anyway, and I did watch that. I was gonna ask because I've heard this from a few places, and I don't know. I just guess I'll get your opinion. I've heard some people really would like NXT to go back to Full Sail.
Why? What's the difference?
I have no idea. Apparently, it's bigger.
Is it?
I don't know that it's such a big difference that it's worth the time.
This feels like the semantic thing where it's like they got rid of my video screens on the AEW ring. No.
And supposedly the Full Sail room is bigger, and I guess it was louder in there because it was more people. I think the complaint is that the CWC or whatever they call that PC area, that they're using now sounds dull.
I mean,
you just need to mic it better, probably.
Yeah, I can't imagine that moving to Full Sail would fix anything that people are having issues with. I mean, it looks white, like there's white walls. There's a difference. Full Sail was like darker, but I mean, essentially you could just light it differently, and you'll be if that's what they want. But they're not going to do that. It
But they're
doesn't.
not.
It costs money to do partnerships and shit like that. Why would you do that?
Yeah,
when you can
that was the
just
other thing
do
I
it?
was thinking, right?
Yeah.
Like, they're using this free building. Why would they enter into another contract that they have to spend money for?
Right.
Exactly. Yeah, I don't really like. Honestly, I can't. I don't really like watching the whole damn show.
Sure.
But I feel like
I
the
also-
people that do like it, they really like it. So you
Sure.
just gotta leave it the way it is. They enjoy it.
I also think I personally also think there's an interesting test in NXT that you don't get anywhere else because essentially when you come down to NXT, you're working in front of the same people every week, and you've got to form a relationship with those people, and at the same time you have to develop a certain uniqueness because like it is different despite the fact that you're on nationwide TV or worldwide TV even. It is different when you go in front of a crowd in every different arena all over the world, and like they're seeing your shit maybe for the first time in person, but like that crowd in NXT has seen your shit every single week, and you need to kind of change the cycle.
Yeah.
That's good too. There's also it works in the other direction where the crowd in NXT you're over as fuck with them, and it appears like something is better than it is, and then you go
Sure.
up and it kind of gets exposed. But I feel like they have some good filters for that because you kind of see it now with like Lexus King. He was over as hell for the first 3 minutes, and then they
Was
were
he?
like, yeah, I mean, online anyway.
He
Which
got
is
memed on hard for his
How-
facial hair.
the beard and the throne, and people claiming like, yeah, it's so much better than it was in AEW, and I was like, give it a second. Give
Just
it
them doing the hardcore WWE thing where no one can be a junior.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting.
Everyone is in the PC every week. They are. We actually know some of them. We have some on the team, but yeah. I don't know that I agree with that, but I wanted to talk about the the almost Broadway, the 59-minute, 58 seconds, MJF versus Will Ospreay. Somebody brought that up. We talked about it earlier on the Dynamite stream, but because this is Dirt Sheet Radio, and I wanted to get your thoughts on it, Greg. What did you think?
Sure. Well, yeah, I'll get to that last, but I see Mac gave his scathing comments about Full Sail. I was like, I hope you don't like TNA because they're trying to ink that deal.
Is TNA trying to get into Full Sail?
There was some stories that TNA was looking to do a deal with Full Sail to film TV there.
Didn't they sign up for like some sort of like a test weekend? I remember hearing something like that.
Maybe.
That's crazy. I'm with it though. I would like for TNA to cultivate a little crowd like that because they don't have to worry about nobody moving up to the main roster or no bullshit like that. Like they.
Why you put that on the screen?
I appreciate the sentiment.
We've all been there.
But if TNA was to cultivate a crowd, it doesn't matter if they just get over at TNA. That's all that matters. That's where they're supposed to be over at. So like they have a crowd, people will care about them. That comes across on TV.
I missed the exact zone.
And of course, the only real issue is that the people they're gonna hate this, right? But the people are ugly. The people that go,
Oh my god!
the people that go every week, not everybody, not. Here's the thing about the PC, right? The WWE fucking filters you out. I don't want to expose the gimmick. I'm not gonna say the name of the group, but there is a Facebook group. You go on this group, and in that group, they offer you. They post a link to for you to get tickets to the show if you get chosen. So what that means is you're being filtered. If they don't think you're cosmetically pleasing, they're probably not going to call on you. And if they do call on you, they're going to put you in the back. They're not stupid. So like in the Full Sail.
Oh no, not the cosmetically pleasing again.
Right?
We're back to the Thunderdome.
If you're pretty, you get in the NXT, you get in the hard cam. They want you to look like normal people watching.
So basically, girls get in first.
But the TNA shows when you Yo, the people who used to go to the fucking to the Impact Zone, they were like the ugliest, stereotypical, like the kind of fans they made fun of in like King of in fucking God,
South Park?
why the move in any media, but but specifically, I was thinking of the fucking Ready to Rumble. Why was that
Okay,
so
yes.
hard?
Okay.
Why was that so hard for me?
I think you were trying to actually block out the memory of Ready to Rumble existing.
Most people should.
I have a charming relationship. I think it's a charming movie. I think it's an attempt. It was a
I think
real
it works. I
attempt.
think it works. It works best if you are a wrestling fan. If you're not, you're just like, what the fuck is happening?
It reminds
should
me
just
of
stay as a movie, and that's it.
It reminds me of like, you know, when you first, you won't know this, Greg. Maybe you will, Nick. I don't know if you will, but some of you out there will know. When you first become like a stoner as a teenager, you first.
Oh, I see. Yes.
You look up the movie. You want to watch these stoner movies, and a lot of them are not good. A lot of them really aren't good. But they have this little charm to them. Like they're like evil bong. You know, like weird fucking shit. Like it's charming, but it's really bad. That's what I think of Ready to Rumble. It's charming.
That's fair.
But,
Like, is it good? No, but it's a thing I needed for that time.
they were ugly. Is my point. Ugly fans. You don't want to have an audience full of ugly fans. So maybe you can't really filter TNA fans though, because you don't have that many. So,
Hey,
like,
Jesus Christ! I knew that was coming.
Let the record show, though, TNA knew how to hunt through the crowd, because then they found Robbie McAllister.
That's fucked up. You know that was fucked
They
up.
zeroed right in on him.
WWE was so petty though back then. Like, why would they do that? He was just sitting there. He wasn't even in the ring, or like he was just sitting there, and they fired him. You gotta
No,
go.
remember, he didn't get fired. He got suspended and then jobbed out for like the next few months.
Oh gosh, that's so fucked up.
And because he was in a tag team, his partner also got the heat from it.
Yeah.
That wasn't right. But I mean, and look how far they've come. They're doing they did Io Sky versus Utami Hayashi. I can never fucking say her name, and I don't want to disrespect her. Hayashishita. Hayashishita. And AJ versus Hayashi. Yeah, but there's
Hayashishita.
Yeah, there it is.
Are we still talking about the Highlanders?
No.
No, I was saying, look how far.
I was like, what?
I was saying, look how far they've come.
That's why you said where they come. I was thinking like the Highlanders.
The company, not the Highlanders. They don't even. Do they wrestle?
They both do. I keep up with. They're both Facebook friends with me.
Nice. Very nice.
Who got zoomed on in the crowd recently in another company? Because I remember the Roy McAllister thing came back up because somebody was spotted at somebody else's show.
I think it was, but I don't think she was in the camera. Like I think AEW goes out of their way not to do that. But they
so were people making the false equivalences about Bailey showing up at like soft stuff?
Yeah,
Okay.
You know how that goes. Yeah. This thing popped up on my screen, and this still makes me laugh as a match, but it at least makes more sense now within the context than it did when we first heard about it. It's just like, what? Why?
Sean does not believe.
It's all right. Solo's not bad. He's not great, but he's not bad. I don't have a problem with Solo. You know, like I don't think he's a bad wrestler. He had a match with Cena that it was hard to care about because of the story situation and because Cena was kind of phoning it in.
And the implication that like it's one match Cena, like what?
Yeah. But in this situation, I'm gonna ask you guys because I have my own thoughts. How would you handle this? How would you Solo Sikoa coming into this? I'll set the stage for the people listening. Solo Sikoa coming into this is being positioned as he wants to usurp Roman Reigns.
Yes.
He
Well, arguably he already has.
Yeah, he basically has. He did a coup. took out the Uso, took out Paul Heyman.
The Usos?
The
Right.
Usos.
The USO.
The one Uso, actually. He took out Heyman.
Brought in the
Installed
Tongans.
his own, installed the Tongans, installed his own enforcer, and called himself the Tribal Chief. So, if he's headed into this WWE Championship match, and if he fails, that would make him everything that he says Roman Reigns is, right? So, what's the point of any of this? So, like, how do you guys handle this? How would you handle this? I'll ask Nick first, Greg, because he hasn't really gotten a chance to talk tonight.
I'm looking at this, and from what we've seen with like the SmackDown show, which go check that out. Shout out our guy Mac, who's also a part of that show, is in the comments. Exactly, Mac. It's such a rough situation because when you look at it, like where we were at WrestleMania, Solo was not at all ready for a SummerSlam match back then, and you could argue he still isn't, because I fail to find any reason why he's a top-notch contender for this title. Also, can we take a moment to look at Cody Rhodes? I read that as Rhodes Cody the way it's aligned.
Yeah.
That does actually say Rhodes Cody. If anything, it says Sedor or Sedor Cody.
Sador Cody.
And at least that other thing says Solo Sikoa.
That's distracted me. Like, honestly, all the hype, and this isn't me like trying to throw him out there because he just came in and everything, but I feel like the hype is more behind Jacob Fatu coming in and killing everyone.
The
And I would
thing
much
they were
rather
supposedly afraid of.
Exactly. I would much rather see Cody take on this big monster that's obliterated all of the other world champions that were on SmackDown.
But just narratively, how, like, I don't think there's a way to. There's only one way I feel like to get out of not having Solo win the title here, and that's having Roman come back.
Yes.
At SummerSlam. Right?
Roman coming back or creating a situation where Solo murders Cody and like referee stoppage has to happen. Then shenanigans ensues.
Can you
because
change
it's
the
a Rhodes
belt
family.
on a referee stoppage?
No. Oh,
You
no, on a
can't?
referee stoppage, on a referee
It depends on
stoppage,
how
maybe.
it's done.
But like,
Depends on the way
if it's a disqualification, no.
No, I know
That's
that.
what
Yeah.
I'm picturing Solo just Samoan spike into the throat multiple times. Like he is just obliterating that Adam's apple on
Right.
Cody Rhodes, and it is just brutal. And the refs like, oh, we can't do that. And we've seen WWE doesn't care. They've stopped Hell in a Cell from that type of thing. I haven't forgotten that. I'm not letting that go. So you know what?
John
They
hasn't
do
forgotten
the
that.
same thing
I'll never
here,
forget
honestly.
There's that. Yeah, Greg, how would you handle this Solo Sikoa thing?
I don't think you put the belt on Solo Sikoa right now. I think you put yourself in that position where you probably got a schmaz. It'll probably go to disqualification. That sad thought, but I think the match gets thrown out in some way, maybe because of chicanery on the end of like Jacob Fatu and the Tongans get involved, or stuff just going ugly. And I think it ends up being like, some sort of gang beating where they're going to eliminate Cody Rhodes completely, and then the music hits.
You think Roman is gonna save Cody Rhodes? That's a big.
I think saving Cody Rhodes is an unintentional symptom of the cause.
It does put him over real hard too. That's gonna be a big ass pop.
I was almost looking at it too as like the enemy of my enemy is my friend in that situation.
Yeah. Like, I'm not really here for you, but I got a problem here. You just happen to be in the fucking middle of it.
See, I think the way they've told this story, they've made it so that Solo and the Bloodline don't care about anything else but taking this belt from Cody because they want the belts back and they want the power back. So if they cost themselves in any way, if it's the bloodline or if it's Solo getting himself disqualified, they look like the stupidest group of fucking people that you've ever met. Like complete fools. Complete fools. I think there's only two ways that they can come out of this looking still threatening. At least it's either Solo just wins, which is weird. I don't fucking want that. Or Roman has to cost him the belt somehow. Like, you fucking little bitch. Like, you thought.
Sure.
You like the pop probably has to come like at that before they beat Cody down. I think like towards the end of the match or something. Even though it is. Go ahead. No, I was gonna say even though it kind of makes Cody look like weak, but Cody shouldn't be involved. Cody should be involved in his own shit anyway. He shouldn't be fucking dealing with his shit. What the fuck?
I feel like they thought that they were going to have more time with like the whole AJ Styles thing. Like, oh wait, now SummerSlam's here.
It's over. I'm so weird about why they didn't do the Randy thing, and they killed him off TV now too. I think, or they made it sound like that.
Which honestly, I was thinking Randy was going to be the direction for SummerSlam at least. I don't know. I don't picture
the way Randy's talking about having his back. I think the Randy thing's coming.
It's got to be coming soon. But like then the way I see it, it comes right after SummerSlam, and I'm like, why would you do that? That's the SummerSlam match. Why'd you save it for whatever Unforgiven is called now? Like, I don't know.
Wow.
I miss Unforgiven though.
I don't know what it's called. What the fuck is the September pay-per-view?
Unnamed September event.
It's Unforgiven. I'm just gonna call it Unforgiven.
I'm down for that. Remember when July used to be fully loaded? Those are the days.
Fully loaded. Vengeance was Vengeance fully
Vengeance
loaded.
Was June.
I think no. You're right. Vengeance was the end of June because they did.
Vengeance started as July in 2003.
All right, I know I wasn't bugging. Benoit.
I don't count 2001 Vengeance.
Okay, that was
2002 Vengeance was. God. 2002 Vengeance was also 2000 or in July.
I knew I had it associated with July. Was not 2004 in July too?
The early ones
Benoit.
Yes, because Bad Blood was still around.
Yeah, hell yeah. Matt says you're lucky he can't come on and bury Cena for another hour.
The September pay-per-view in 2023 was Payback.
That's fucking ass. It is Payback.
Remember when Payback was in Chicago for like the first several years of its existence?
That's so whack though. Like, why? What is even the point? That's such a loser ass word. Like Payback. Unforgiven is so like Unforgiven. Like that's so significant. Like, it's so relevant.
Cue the Metallica track.
Remember when they had Payback, but still on the rights to Backlash, which is basically the same thing?
Yes.
And they didn't use it for a couple of years.
They did get rid of Backlash for a while, right? Before they brought it back as
yes, they did. WrestleMania Backlash, and then just Backlash Puerto Rico. Oh, and Backlash France.
Backlash International.
You know what I hope? I hope for the main event of SummerSlam, Cody Rhodes hits the Crossroads and gets the clean victory over Solo Sikoa. And I hope that's just the end of it.
No Roman Reigns.
No Roman Reigns. It's just Cody getting a decisive win because it works for him, brother.
Babyface going over. What do you think you were watching?
It's the babyface at SummerSlam. Come on.
The bloodline just leaves. They just leave. They just the police come and take them away.
They found the criminal.
Jacob Fatu just fucking bolts out like, you ain't getting me again.
He's gone. The cameras, the spotlight's chasing him and everything.
The spotlight chases him out as Cody Rhodes holds up the world title in one hand, the American flag in the other hand. The pyrotechnics just going off behind him.
Hit the pyro. Put the credits.
He Rhodes. Brandy is like over here. Pharaoh's on this part of the apron.
I'm dying.
You have hologram Dusty Rhodes being like, "You did it, son."
This is the only way to end SummerSlam. You know.
That's it.
But yeah, no, SummerSlam is about time for Roman to return anyway. If we're speaking just kind of like, he always disappears from WrestleMania to SummerSlam. Like, this is the funniest thing. People being like, I miss Roman. WWE's not the same without Roman. Like, Dougie always disappears after WrestleMania. What the fuck are you talking about?
I think the fact that he had the belt meant that there was always like the specter of Roman. There was always the spirit of Roman Reigns was always involved. It's like that. It's that person in your life that you don't speak to very much, you haven't seen in a while, but they lived in the city, and you always knew they were within arm's reach. And then for whatever reason, they up and moved to Florida, and now you know you can't see them again.
That's horrible.
You never exchanged cell information. They changed it along the way.
I miss you, George.
I didn't mean that to be specific, but I'm just like, listen, if you've lived here long enough, the New York to Florida pipeline is kind of fucking common.
It really is, so much so that certain parts of Florida are just the Bronx. Just know there's no difference. There's no difference. There's a palm tree. It's the Bronx with a palm tree. Nice. And it's hotter, so everybody's angrier. You don't want that. You don't want that. Did you hear about
this surprise? Yeah.
Hell yeah.
I'll out of nowhere.
I'll read this out. In the 1980s, Dump Matsumoto took on all of Japan as the most terrifying heel in women's pro wrestling. And
Did you need some help with that name, John?
Yes, because I was going to read it wrong because my vision is fucked. But yeah, the Queen of Villains show coming to Netflix. Greg, I'm excited for this. Nick, what do you guys think about this?
It just came out of nowhere, but it's really cool. I dig it.
Yeah, I hope there's just more of these randomly advertised and like kind of fringe wrestling documentaries. Like who expected Dump Matsumoto? Let's go.
Is that right? What this is? I was so worried that this was gonna be a drama or something.
Oh, you thought it? Yeah.
I didn't look it up. It is a drama. I swear to you, it's a drama. It's a pro wrestling drama series. Let me see. Oh no, it's not a documentary at all. The series stars comedian Yurian Retriever as
scared.
Matsumoto. It also features Erika Karada as Chigusa Nagayo and Ayami Goriki as Lioness Asuka. No other cast
that changes things.
No other cast has been announced this time.
I didn't even notice on the top it says a Netflix series, so now I'm scared.
That's why I was like,
Netflix series just meant documentary.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't assume documentary though. I assumed when I heard that, I assumed drama immediately. It says it's a 5-episode series centered around exploring the untold story of the rise of Dump Matsumoto in All Japan women's pro wrestling in the 1980s. The fact that Netflix is making a show that has 19 Japan women's pro wrestling as the backdrop is crazy enough as it is. I can't wait for the Misawa Kawada drama. That is gonna go.
Man, I have been writing the Misawa Kawada series in my head for years.
You need to maintain that in the whole brawl. One whole episode of just pure fighting. It's just like Acolyte.
There was a scene in my head of just like Kawada meeting up with Misawa in some private place somewhere right after Misawa stages the walkout. Like, what the fuck are you doing, bro?
Oh my god!
I thought we were cool.
There's so much potential. And to be clear, we understand that All Japan women's pro wrestling and All Japan pro wrestling are completely unrelated. But I just thought of the idea of Netflix doing a fucking drama with this legendary era of Japanese pro wrestling, and I was like, there is another. Yeah. There is another, and it's perfectly primed for a drama. Like, they have such a dramatic story. They lived such a dramatic life. The senpai from high school who was always had Kawada in his shadow. Like, Come on, bro.
It's all there. It's all there drama-wise. Listen, here's another thing I want to bring up. We have the Netflix series right there. But remember, WWE is going to Netflix, and this is something not affiliated with WWE in any way.
You're just hoping that you fucking ruined my whole dream. They're not gonna do anything again. It's gonna be like, hey, so we had this idea, and Triple H is gonna be like, what if it was about D-Generation X?
I'll tell you, Ric Flair.
We had this story about Misawa, and he's like, Ric Flair. Have you heard of it? Fuck!
I'll tell you, Killer Kowalski.
Damn it, we're so fucked. This is the last one we're gonna get.
The closest you will get to it is why don't you tell them about the time that WWF went down and worked in All Japan and really elevated their product.
Oh, fuck. I don't want anything to do with this now. It comes out September
Tiger Mask match nobody wants to think about.
It comes out September 19th, but you know what? Looking at this, fuck, it's been in. I never heard of this being in production until now. That's why I'm like September.
Damn, that's the thing.
September 19th is crazy.
It literally just came out of nowhere.
And it's got a photo right here of the actress.
Mac.
He said, I named my Toyota Minami and nobody gets the reference. Makes me so happy. Yes, we are.
Yes. Which now makes me depressed that I didn't name my Toyota.
Did you name it something else?
Yeah.
What?
Damn it.
So because of the lovely blue color on it, because of other factors, I have lovingly named my 2024 Toyota Corolla Miss Sasha.
Oh, okay. Well, shit. I like that. I never named my car. I don't know that I ever thought of it. I just kind of thought of it as a she. But
you can always go with Combat Toyota.
Oh no, copyright. Yeah. Nick Khan is gonna come down on your ass.
Yeah. Famously known for her death matches in FMW.
Hello.
We're not allowed to talk about death matches on here. Oh no, the red blotches. We're gonna get demonetized.
Oh gosh. You know what's fucked up? That's so possible.
Yeah.
Anyway,
hey, Call of Duty, who's that?
Excuse me, the exploding matches.
The Call of Duty crossover between WWE and Call of Duty is bringing up some funny ass commentary because
oh my gosh, John, go to the Cody Rhodes image real quick.
The models look better than any fucking 2K models.
Hear me out. Listen, I'm just saying, like, Cody Rhodes has help from like Ghost from Call of Duty. Like Captain Price comes out, they help him defeat the Bloodline, and
this is where God.
Cody Rhodes stands up in the corner with the American flag and the world title as explosions happen behind him, and the drones pop out and spell out Call of Duty.
You did a good job, Cody.
Good work, Mr. Rhodes.
Good job.
Good job, Cody.
Cody. Watch Price. Anyway.
Oh man,
those are really good models, though.
When I heard that WWE was gonna do a crossover with Call of Duty, I thought it was gonna be like, you know, like this Rhea Ripley gun, you know, like a backpack, yeah. You know, like I didn't think they were gonna be like
art stuff,
full on character skins.
Because what do you do? All right, so maybe I'm missing something. Maybe Call of Duty has changed a lot. What the fuck are you doing with Cody Rhodes in this game? Like, can you even see him?
You hit the crossroads.
But why and how? I thought you fucking.
I don't know.
I used to play Call of Duty for so much.
Starlight is in the game.
I feel so left behind. Is it like Fortnite now?
It's a little bit.
Like...
A little bit.
Because Rey Mysterio is doing a bulldog here. At what point would that be relevant in a Call of Duty game?
It could kill him.
Yeah, but isn't it a first-person shooter still or not?
Okay, I haven't played Call of Duty in forever, so my question is: has Call of Duty implemented like how Halo Reach implemented assassinations? Could that be something? Which
they have
tangent.
special. They do
Halo
have
should
special
have
moves.
always used wrestling moves in assassinations. I would love to just pile drive another Spartan. Halo, do that.
So like
I'm
instead of
told,
a knife, it just does a move.
maybe yes. Like I know that they added Starlight, Firecracker, and Homelander to Call of Duty some time ago. So like you can play with them as well, and
That's
like
a
you get
boxing ring.
yes.
I know that's one of the locations in one of the maps.
Oh, okay. Well, shit.
I like this. That's a boxing ring. That's going to be the ring that they use in the main event of SummerSlam when Cody Rhodes wins 1, 2, 3, standing on the corner with the American flag and a championship title.
Oh, God.
Yeah, and they have 5 characters from the boys, and they all have quote finishing moves, so that you can do these sort of animatic. Yeah, okay. So I'm looking at it now. When they do a finishing move, it goes out into like third person. Okay, I got you. Yeah.
But this is so far away from my Call of Duty days.
It comes It comes out of first person, John, when you do a finishing move or a special or whatever. So you get to see the action.
We're all gonna see this shit.
I sent you the link.
There it is.
Oh well, there's a Deadpool trailer playing first.
Hey.
Oh no!
The Deadpool skin.
We could get past that. Sorry, I'm not signed into my premium. I swear I have one. That's Ryan Reynolds in a wig.
By the way, I'd like to make a point. This is the most boys content John has watched.
Okay, hold on. I don't. Yeah,
he already hates it.
People, this is.
I hate this. This isn't Call of Duty.
This is Call of Duty now.
What did they do to Call of Duty?
This is Call of Duty now.
How do you know what team someone's on?
I have no idea, man.
I imagine the HUD,
variants.
The color of but that's fucked up when you're looking at him from far.
Because if I see Cody Rhodes coming up, I'm not gonna know who his team is on. I'm gonna start sniping him.
You're just gonna snipe because he's Cody Rhodes.
Quick scope Cody.
This fucking I hate this. At least in Fortnite, at least in Fortnite, it's an expectation. This fucking weirds me out.
Bro, they've got Nicki Minaj, they've got Cheech and Chong.
What happened to Call of Duty?
They've got Snoop Dogg.
And Call of Duty's always been extra, but this is going above and beyond.
You could definitely shoot Cody.
Somebody playing Fortnite. Who was it?
This is definitely Fortnite's fault.
Yes.
Fortnite definitely did this. Fortnite fucking changed it so that first-person shooters feel archaic.
But also so that we have to it has to be a game that has characters from all sorts in it with no reason.
This is ridiculous. And that was Cody Rhodes.
You took it all away, I hit it all away.
That is why Cody Rhodes needs to win cleanly in the main event of SummerSlam.
Because he has an AK. Oh.
So
Can you imagine, the bloodline comes out, Jacob Fatu is like, what are you going to do? Cody pulls out the AK.
There's going to be so much meme potential.
See,
I almost want to buy the DLC just to make Cody Rhodes shooting people meme.
I kind of learned
from Armed Anderson.
I kind of love the idea of them getting another WWE DLC just so you could have you'd have Roman Reigns just kind of back in the tack suit.
Absolutely.
Oh fuck yeah!
That's so cool.
Yeah. So TNA and NXT's partnership continues. TNA fans really enjoy it. I think.
John has had his social fill of Call of Duty for the night.
I can't. Mag's like, this is why I only play Madden. I wouldn't get so comfortable with those sports games in thinking that kind of stuff isn't coming.
You know who's in Madden? Roman Reigns.
That's true.
Oh shit!
Because they put out a whole thing, like in their card collector gimmick, they put out a whole thing of guys who used to play football and went on to fame in other venues. So there's a Roman Reigns card that came out like a few months back.
Just wait. Pretty soon it'll be a Spider-Man card. You fucking wait.
For no reason.
None at all. Anyway, this Joe Hank.
He catches the passes with his webs no matter how far away it is.
I just this TNA thing.
He's trying to move on and we won't let him.
He's pulling it back.
We got Bruno.
TNA NXT crossover. I wanted to say I thought it was a good thing for them. They brought their Rascals back, but Moose.
Moose is still out here.
Moose is funny because he mentioned earlier how much better this is than any partnership AEW has had with TNA and I guess anybody else they partnered with. And I was just thinking to myself like, he really wants to be on the NXT pay-per-view, doesn't he?
So while that's true, to some degree, I have to look at Moose the same way I look at Seth Rollins a few years back, where I was just like, "You're stupid, but bless you, you defend your company."
Yeah, good job towing the company line for sure.
I saw what that did for Ethan Page. Hey, can I have some of that too?
Right? Oh shit! I see how this game is played.
John, we have received 100 messages.
I hate this company, actually. I'm like, yeah. I'm sure.
Ethan Page was so glad to be there until he wasn't.
It's actually very unorganized, and nobody will answer my phone calls. I don't imagine why, Ethan. No, he had his shot, man. And that's the thing about AEW that doesn't work for some people like Ethan Page's and Brian Pillman's. It's that part as
lack of communication.
That it's real. There's something about pro wrestling that's very special and weird and unorganized and chaotic. And
that's fucked up.
It is fucked up. It is very fucked up. But it's kind of where it's. I don't know how to explain it without sounding like a piece of shit. But there's something beautiful that comes from the inherent chaos and wrongness of the way a wrestling show is run. It's so.
I so want you to continue explaining.
Can you not so much in the hot dogs and handshakes part. Imagine if they paid well too. Imagine if all the bad things came and they actually still, and you didn't have to worry about bad promoters. But I mean,
sure.
like being able to exist in an environment where you have to fend for yourself.
You were about to get kicked out for comparing John to Sam Roberts.
Work with everybody else. No, I was listening to an old rant I did about Sam Roberts in early Dershi Radio, and I was like, man, I wonder if I would be that way now. I think I am. I'm trying not to make people.
Oh, I remember that. You did go off on him once.
And there were people defending him. Mac defended him.
We were younger then.
I was younger then. I didn't think anybody was listening.
Oh, that would be a fun episode to revisit some of the old ones and see if our opinions have changed.
My opinion has not changed. Just the way that I convey it.
The episode I want to revisit more than anything is just us riffing on Kenny Omega's and the dog.
The angelic Omega as his wings spread.
That fucking moment was rent free in my head.
No, I was trying to say that there's obviously a balance, right? You don't want to.
Yes.
You don't want things to be so chaotic that you have any fucking control of it at all, which is kind of what happens at AEW sometimes.
Sometimes.
Sometimes. But it does happen. And whereas WWE is on the other side of the spectrum, where everything's so plastic and rigid and controlled, and every aspect is like if you find a way to insert some art in there of your own, like kudos to you, because there's no room for art in there.
It is the known edict of the Walt Disney Company, where the job is not to make art, the job is to make money, and if art is made along the way, all the better for it.
Right? That's exactly what it is. So that's kind of like why, like AEW, it's not as structured as WWE, and it just isn't. It's too new. It doesn't have all the right people in the right places yet. Obviously, they'll get there as time goes on because they have the funding to make sure they don't die before it happens. But
John, what do you mean? The hard camera section's empty. They're gonna die now.
Damn, you're right. Shit, that means WWE died for like fucking 15 years.
John, didn't you see they got rid of the video paneling by the ring?
That's right. It's all better now. It's gonna be better. The LED strip is gone. Anyway,
I didn't even notice.
I just think some wrestlers are better to create art, and other wrestlers are better to play parts. You know what I'm saying? Ethan Page, he's got charisma. He's got a lot of great tools, man, but he wasn't able to create art on his own in that environment. Unfortunately, for whatever reason, maybe he wasn't able to speak up. Maybe he wasn't able to get in contact with the right people.
I'm not even sure I agree. He has great tools.
I have seen that argument, and I won't say I disagree, but I think that
he's not going to outright disagree. He's just not going to say he disagrees.
All right, fellas, let's take over the NXT show.
That would be great, because we're just going to spend the whole hour trying to figure out how to shit on it without getting kicked off the air. No,
we don't do takeovers anymore.
Unfortunately, no. Anyway,
bad times.
I like art, you know. I appreciate the art of pro wrestling so much. I really like the art when it's not held down by writers and shit and money. That's why I was so bothered when CM Punk said the thing about, you know, maybe they're not in the business of making money. I was like, you bastard son of a bitch. I thought you were about the passion and the art too. Like, I didn't know you were a fucking corporate cuck. What the fuck is this?
I thought you were here for the young guys.
What the hell?
No.
You know, as a fan, I'm a fan of the art, and I didn't think Ethan Page could make the art, and so that's why he went to play the part. But then to come out and be like, it's so unorganized. I didn't know. I'm like, yeah, that's a result of you being unable to play the game that they play over there. It sucks, but like the fact that other people are able to play it, you know, like, and you weren't, you know, like that's the proof right there.
It reminds me of when Big Swole left way back when, you know, and that was the whole big complaint, was that I'm not getting put into a certain role that I want to be put in, but it was more of, you have to come up with that yourself.
Or pitch him, and they'd be like, oh, I'm pitching ideas and they won't take them. And then it's like, well, in that case, maybe it's time to look inward. What are these ideas we're pitching, sir? Like, why aren't they calling you back? Because usually, if they like it, then they'll just call you back. So keep on trying.
I heard what one of the ideas was. It was going to be him pitching that he was going to be one of the skins in Call of Duty, and he was going to win at All In, and he's going to pose in the corner with the Canadian flag and the world title.
Oh my god! I'm now just wondering. I'm wondering what ideas, you know, like Dijak was pitching
to WWE creative, right?
That he'll be a skin in Call of Duty and go into the corner with the world title.
And then how and then when you pitch in WWE versus pitching in AEW, right? I imagine that when you pitch in WWE, that has to go through like 18 layers, and then they have to figure out how to make that work within the context of everything they're doing already. Where I think pitching something in AEW, while it does probably have to go through layers, I'm sure nobody really has access to Tony Khan anymore. This is the year one. But I'm sure you got to talk to Luther or something. Like, I'm sure, I don't know who's who, but I'm sure you got to talk to somebody else first.
Which is probably why there's a disconnect, because Luther's busy rehearsing his stuff for Tony Storm.
No, but I imagine it's two different worlds too. I wonder if the things that Dijak would pitch in WWE would go over in AEW and vice versa. You know, but we'll see. I don't know that Dijak is going to go straight to AEW, but I imagine he'll show up there eventually. He seems to be.
They have to revisit Keith Lee.
I'm not saying I'm not gonna say he's gonna go or not, but I will say that when he was talking about how he had pitched ideas to WWE and he ignored or rejected or whatever word you want to use, somebody was like, "Do you have any ideas that you have to pitch to AEW?" And he's like, "They've already been minted and sent."
He just sent in a letter and all it says on it is Keith Lee. What the fuck, Dijak? We already knew that. We come up with something else. At least when Ospreay came up with the Ricochet thing, he had like 3 months of backlog or other content to give us. No, but,
also in regards to Ethan Page's comments, like to some degree, I took that and I went like, yeah, a company that young would probably be disorganized.
Yeah, I imagine
figuring things out.
That was kind of. It's the same line that Jade Cargill gave. Like, this is the machine, and I was like, yeah. I bet there's got a nice, clean office and a nerd and a.
I was just gonna use the word. It's an incredibly clean machine.
Right. Oh, what the fuck is that music? Horrible. Oh. Gosh.
Yeah. What?
What the fuck?
Didn't we have like hip hop or lo-fi selection?
That says hip hop, but that was not hip hop. That's an AI's idea of hip hop.
AI got too silly there.
Is that when like they pick out a hip hop song for a guy in WWE?
Oh, I'm pretty sure that's how Def Rebel makes music with AI.
I was saying that was the Def Rebel soundtrack right there. Again, I will look back at one of the worst moments of watching the Royal Rumble with my friends is none of us knew who was coming out. What song is this? Is someone crying?
I joked with you last week that the biggest sin of that is that like the sort of cloud over the fact that none of the music is distinctive or unrecognizable. They put everyone's name in the song.
Exactly. It's just this is the
sexy. Jericho has a theme song that parodies that. It's weird. I was like, did you make that yourself? How are you so good at making bad music, sir? No, but I am the learning tree.
Hi guys.
Hi guys.
The Suzuki segment with him was fun. I enjoyed that.
They're weird. I hope Suzuki doesn't die. I just don't want to see another Misawa. Like, go home, please. Oh. Just go home.
I mean, I want to say he just doesn't wrestle that kind of style, but yeah, I get it.
Yeah, but that motherfucker just fucking passed out in the ring like a couple weeks ago, and now he
doesn't know his limits.
Working WWE. Yeah, he had a concussion.
Oh, yeah, I heard that story.
Yeah, he had a concussion. He passed out in the ring. They took him to the hospital. They said it was a concussion. I'm like, but he passed out in the ring.
Huh?
Fuck.
Oh no, I did not hear that story.
Yeah, this just
what was
happened.
this for?
And Suzuki's probably just like, oh, I'm
I have to let me. No. This happened at. Let me Google it on my phone. I should just Google it on screen so people can see me Googling. But this is much more convenient.
Search history, baby.
Suzuki.
Get on the mothership, baby. The mothership to get you the information. Information said I know it's WCW.
You get a plundering going on around here, baby.
He got a bicycle.
Dusty is one of the best things. Have you guys ever seen the Cruiserweight Battle Royal from like late '97 on Saturday night? Watch it on YouTube. It's one of the best things because Dusty Rhodes the whole time is rooting for who's that guy on the purple? Oh, it's El Dandy. And Dusty rooting.
We gotta watch that
for El
shit.
Dandy is great.
We'll watch it together here on the stream. So they say it was Greg, you breathed right into the mic. It happened during Tenryu Project's main event on July 6th. The match was canceled by the referee. He got taken to a hospital.
Oh fuck.
There was no bleeding in his head or anything. So he was diagnosed with a concussion. But that's just one of those things where I feel like the doctor diagnoses you with with the best possible, like with the closest thing we could come up with, like based on everything we said, we don't find anything bleeding here. We'll give you a concussion. But like he collapsed mid-match.
Right.
Like there's something more to that, and
He did the Shawn Michaels, didn't he?
Yeah, basically, but you know,
But for real.
But for real,
Honestly,
and that's scary stuff. So when he popped up now, I was just like,
Should we stop playing Tell Me a Lie?
he just almost died.
Yeah.
Anyway, we'll see how
you
that
guys,
goes.
That's the Japanese for you.
Honestly, they just keep going. Like Max said, we have to absolutely protect Murder Grandpa. And a shout out to the jam up guy that is El Dandy. But if you guys want to know something really scary, it's going to be having to do a podcast.
Are you going to pull your face off like Tony Schiavone?
You're going to go with this. No, because I'm going to be getting ready for bed because it's about 3 o'clock over here and I'm eepy.
It's 4 a.m. over here. Screw you.
I have to go to work in like 4 hours, bitch.
I understand.
No, it's 1 a.m. here. It's very early.
Yes. Love to all.
Yeah, no, have a good night. So I also wanted to talk about what Cody had to say.
With Mr. Chris Van Vliet.
Yeah, he did.
He said so many things.
He did say a few things, but the only ones that I thought were worth talking about were the interesting ones.
Ouch.
You know, this was more funny than anything, or he kind of mentioned, you know, I hated that in the Young Bucks book they said I was the last to signing because that's a big thing. Some of the AEW defenders who don't realize they're turning people off to their product more than they're turning people on. That's one of the things that people always cite. Oh, he was last. He wasn't that big a deal to the origin. No, here's the guy who's off camera was the first person to ever meet Tony. He met him in a vetting process for all of us. So yes, I guess I was the last. And yes, I had different thoughts. And it's not incorrect at all what they said. Yeah, it's not incorrect. I was just in on it, but I was just as in on it as anybody else. So
sure.
I laughed at that because I thought that was a very verbose way to just say that yes, everything they said was true. Like I'm not sure why he even brought that up. Like I hate that they did it though.
But also that I also had a different role in the whole thing.
I was there too. Like, bro, we get it. You started it. The only people who don't think you started it don't matter. And that's kind of all right. This is what we talked about forever since since AEW first fucking started. Since we were doing this damn show, Cody Rhodes does not like smart marks. He does not like this internet wrestling community shit. These journalists, the SRS, Sean Ross Sapp, he thinks he's Cody's friend because they send memes back and forth. He doesn't like you. He doesn't like journalists. He doesn't like pro wrestling media journalists because those are the people that turn on his dad. Those are the people that turn the fans on his dad. The smart marks are the ones who shat on his dad. These are the things.
Got them convinced that, you know, Dusty's the one who fucking ruined Jim Crockett.
Yeah. And Cody grew up reading these forums and reading these magazines and being in the chat rooms, and he hates this. It's in his heart. It
continued. I'm sorry, but like to make the point more, it continued after the fact. Like, you know, Dusty got back into the industry, and it's like, oh man, Dusty's fucking booking TNA into the ground because like the era that he was booking for it wasn't the best, you know. Like they just keep going at him, and then it's probably weird in reverse now because you've got the Dusty Rhodes reference because now we've connected Dusty to NXT. It's like, fuck you, you fickle bitches.
But that's why I always felt like his connection to AEW was weird. Okay. In the Young Bucks book now, we have the context that so they always talk about how it was a vote in the Elite, and it wasn't a unanimous vote. And the clues
Cody?
to join AEW instead of going to WWE.
Okay.
That was they voted on either signing the Tony Khan thing or signing WWE. It wasn't a unanimous vote, right? And he was the last to sign, right? So the clues kind of lead you to believe he was wanting to go to WWE from the beginning. And that's kind of what he appears he was trying to dispel here, but he doesn't at all. Like, it's just like, why did you even bring that up? Sure, you want to go to WWE, it's fine. He even mentions elsewhere in the interview that AEW was always meant to be just a chapter. It was always meant to be like Hogan in the AWA before going to the main event. And I'm like, that's just another clue that you were the guy who voted to go to WWE. But like, yeah, it's like, I was gonna skip this whole shit, but I guess since we're all staying, this will be a chapter. So like, dog, the whole connection between Cody and AEW was weird, and I brought this up before because like, if you don't like you don't like the culture that cultivated AEW, how could you ever meld and mesh here? It's weird. He didn't mesh with the Bullet Club the whole time he was in it. So that being said, we on this podcast had kind of clocked that Cody and the Elite was a weird connection, and that it looked like it had fallen out. And Cody, when he left AEW, he went to WWE and talked about how they would never bring up what it was because it was a personal issue, but he loves AEW. And now I guess he didn't really say what it was yet, but kind of added some context to what kind of, or not what kind of issue, but just a feel like maybe it wasn't as small or a nothing issue as he kind of put it out to be, because now all of a sudden it's they're petty squabbles and he really regrets the way it ended there. And there's gonna be books written about it when it gets out. So I'm like, what the fuck? What could have possibly happened between Cody Rhodes and AEW beyond the natural, just the natural idea that he would be moving on anyway? Because at one point he says this was always going to be just a chapter, but in this he says he regrets how it ended. I hate this petty squabbles, all this bullshit. I really feel like there was some kind of monetary thing here on top of the creative. Obviously, we had clocked that there was something weird about his storytelling in the company as compared to what everybody else was doing, and you know. But
also, like compared to what they ended up doing at the beginning of the company, compared to the promises, up with it in quotes, the promises that Cody Rhodes had made about the direction of the company creatively, the sports-based programming daddy, and you know, and the like, why can't wrestling be like Game of Thrones, which is an auspicious comment to make.
Because you didn't have Jennifer Peppermint, you had Cody Rhodes. There was a lot of things they didn't understand, and of course it ended up getting the book taken away from the Elite and Cody Rhodes in specific. And
I mean, when you say a lot of things they didn't understand, right? There's that story of Cody, like, not understanding that video game rights worked very differently.
Yeah, or championship belt rights. I didn't even know that was a thing. He's like, you can't just get a belt made. You gotta patent the design and shit. Yeah, that's how that works when you're about to put it on TV.
Dad never told me that stuff. Like,
yeah, I mean, he's always talking nicely about AEW or whatever, so I just thought it was interesting. And I'd really like to hear that story. Like, someday, I really want to hear both sides of that story. I'm very curious.
I thought the use of the word terrible was interesting.
Right? Like, what? He says how AEW ended was terrible, really, and people are going to write books later on, and their stories are going to get out there, and then it's going to be a whole new ball game. What the fuck happened? What the fuck? Regardless of any petty squabbles, I was always have a love for it. I got to wrestle Brody Lee's final match. I got to lead people, young people behind the scenes. I'll always have a love for it. It's the most politically correct way to say it's like it's personal.
I mean, the man's good at what he does.
He's definitely a politician, a Republican one. Anyway. Yeah, I laughed at that because I really want to know. God damn it, I really want to know. I like to speculate that they just decided Brandy's like bad at her job. They were like, gee, we hired her as a chief brand officer because you said that she could do this shit. And it's been fucking 3 years, Cody, and we haven't gotten a single sneaker deal. Like, what is going on? What is going on? What is she doing in the office? And
Kenny claims he's bad at his job too.
I'm sure he is. I don't think any of them. I think they all got their shit. You all got your shit taken away.
Yeah.
They all got their book taken. Like you, no more. Tony said, "I will book this shit for the rest of my life. I don't give a fuck."
And that was sort of the trouble from the beginning to me, where it's like at the end of the day, no matter how much we like these people, they're all amateurs when it comes to this job.
Anyway, we clocked early on that there were issues, so now we are kind of we're being drip fed more and more. And like I said, I speculated it's a Brandy thing. I speculate they didn't want to pay her executive money anymore, and Cody used that as his way out. But it all worked out in the end. Look at the guy, world champion. What the fuck are you gonna say? What can you say about it? What can you really say about it? Like, was it the wrong move? No,
not at all.
I'm just a nosy bitch, and I want to know what the fuck happened. Like, what the fuck?
It's in a sad way, yeah. It has worked out so much better for Cody than the rest of them, in the sense that like Cody got to do the big WrestleMania thing twice in a row, right? And the Young Bucks got a broken promise in the way they intended to like really rebuild the or build the tag team thing to the main event status that they wanted it to, and like we got a year run with Kenny Omega, but now and now he's stricken with all these awful health problems.
I think I think Kenny Omega's run was it was everything it needed to be. We got the top guy, Kenny, for a long time, and I'll be grateful for that forever because it was peak. But as for
except for that one thing with the explosion,
we don't talk about that. No. But as for the Bucks, I still believe they did everything they set out to do. If only they got so damn close to main eventing that Wembley Stadium with that fucking tag match. I will never forgive you for you fucking you Bucks and FTR. Whatever happened between you motherfuckers to keep that all-in Wembley match from going down. Ugh.
Yeah, and it's weird to even say that the relationship between them somehow deteriorated, because it didn't seem like there was a very good one to begin with.
Nah, we did that. We forced them into that. We pressured them into it. The internet did that. They made a tweet and we held them to it. It was like, it was just a tweet, bro. No, you don't understand, dog. These tweets mean something. A tweet created AEW. I mean, not really. But yes, the lore, damn it, the lore. Greg, this Liv Morgan thing. I've heard WWE fans really love the Liv Morgan thing, right? I get that.
Sure.
But I've heard some interesting opinions about it from people that don't like it, and I wanted to know your thoughts on this. So essentially, there's probably two kinds of people who don't like this feud.
Two kinds of people who don't like it. Okay.
There's the people who are just kind of like me, the wrestling fans for the wrestling, and
sure.
Liv Morgan is not exactly the best wrestler. So when you see her in marquee matches, you're like, ha, that doesn't move me at all.
Okay.
And then you've got the people who don't like it because of how sexual it is. How they feel like the women's championship, like other women worked really hard to make it more than that kind of toy. Where do you stand on these two trains of thought right here?
I'm just gonna derail the second train completely. If you think this is too sexual and that it demeans the belt, you were not around for the things I've seen and the places I've been with this championship. This is light work. They're doing a romance angle, and like, I don't know what you want, man. There's always the romance angle between Dominic Mysterio and Rhea Ripley has gone on for what, 2 years now?
Yeah.
So yeah, of course it was going to come to a head. There was going to be conflict. It's a story. It's a television show. It's come to a conflict with this. I don't know what the term people use is, ingenue of a character in.
I've never heard a person use that term.
No?
No.
I learned it a few years ago when people talk about acting, and that's the character that women end up playing, the ingenue or the outside woman.
I'm not Hollywood enough. Damn it.
I understand. And like, I don't know. I don't see a problem with it because it's just TV. It's there's this outside character messing with these people's relationship, but again, it's not even for the purpose of the relationship. It's for Liv Morgan to get back at Rhea Ripley.
Yeah.
There is a direct through line to the two people about to get into a fight. If there wasn't, I'd understand. But this is like the hypersexual stuff. I don't want to say hypersexual. It's not even that bad. But the sexual stuff going on between Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio is all about fucking with Rhea Ripley. I don't know what more you want from that.
I've seen also. I didn't bring this one up as a main train of thought, but I've seen a splinter off of the two sexual thought that says it is inappropriate because of the current ongoing lawsuit that the company is involved in.
Get over yourself. It's a TV show.
I think there's something. To be said about tone deaf, but I think it also there's two things. The company has always been tone deaf. They led a thank you chant to Vince McMahon like after he got ousted because of a fucking sexual scandal. But also their fan base accepts anything. I think the fan base. I'm sorry, the fan base has low standards when it comes to what they'll accept from the fucking company in regards to behavior or anything. They don't give a fuck. There's not their business. They don't
probably
care.
not even all that plugged in.
They're not. They probably don't know what's going on, right?
No.
And not only do they not know what's going on, really, they only vaguely know what's going on, and they taken Vince's side already. What the fuck?
They know Vince got in trouble.
They know Vince got in trouble, and they think somebody's working against him or something like that. But you know what kind of fan? You know, come on, you know the average IQ. Anyway, beyond that stuff,
Mac refers to the live sex celebration. I want to also note that Edge speared another man's wife and then simulated humping her for the 3 count.
That's a core memory for me, actually. Edge spearing and pinning Beulah McGillicuddy is a core memory for me. I don't know.
Beulah McGillicuddy who had not been seen in the wrestling business since the Dudley Boys broke her neck.
Right, it was so sympathetic. And she's out there wrestling in like a mom office outfit. It legit looks like she just decided to wrestle 5 minutes ago.
Yeah. What was I going to use? Kane raping Lita?
Yeah, and then they had the baby, then the baby miscarried, and then they became a sympathetic couple. Anyway, this is the history of pro wrestling has seen a lot worse stories, so I don't agree with the story being too sexual. I think the tone deaf thing, again, it's WWE.
It's too sexual if you ain't been around.
It's kind of what I come to expect from them. But in regards to the other train of thought,
my God,
the idea that Liv sucks in the ring. Oh gosh, Mac. I can't say that I disagree with that. And again, this is why I try to separate my tastes from my opinion, right? Because in my opinion, this is not a bad story for WWE television. This is actually exactly what you want to see out of WWE television. Entertaining moments, the funny stuff with Dom and Liv is mounting him on the fucking ramp and Rhea's caught them. Oh my God, what's going to happen next?
It's a TV show. Oh no, they're in a compromising situation.
That's exactly.
John, do you remember the fucking segment where Stephanie walks in on Hunter and Trish where he's trying to teach her the freaking leg pick?
But even without referencing like any of the company's history, just considering the company the way it is now, and like it's like this is exactly what you want out of WWE TV. This Mommy Rhea storyline. This is actually probably in a lot of WWE fans' minds one of the most important matches on the card.
Yeah, they're invested, man.
Shit. And meanwhile, me personally, I couldn't give a single fuck. This match is gonna suck ass. I want to watch this shit. But I'm not gonna dump on anybody that likes it and say that they're dumb for liking it, because I understand why, and I'm invested in the story too. I want to see.
Don't you want to know if Dominic folds?
No, I just want to see if they're gonna get Liv to take her shirt off and get a jacket by accident. I'm sorry, okay? You leading me by the nose here. We gotta get something going.
Oh my god! I cannot with you.
Oh, Greg, this I'm really I mean, speaking of things that people really enjoy that I have my own opinions on, this is actually starting to win me over more as it goes on. This Wyatt Six thing.
Okay.
Mac mentions the soap operas they play in the morning, where bad things happen. The bad people do bad things. Obviously, that's a conversation I had on the Identity Crisis episode of Major Issues. Go check that out. We had a whole discussion about how bad characters do bad things, and there's nothing wrong with that inherently, unless the person writing it is a sick pervert who takes pleasure in things like that.
Sure. But like that, and that's the thing I fight against so many times. It's like, yeah, like bad people do bad things. It's like, well, some bad things shouldn't be written about. Like, they used to burn books for less than that, man.
Seriously. But this Wyatt Six deal, I was very weird about. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, ultimately, I just don't like spooky stories.
Sure.
But I thought that with Bray Wyatt being
John, massive '90s Undertaker fan.
Yeah, right. But even so, with Bray being the creative driver to all the interesting, scary stuff that WWE was doing, with him gone, I was like, oh gosh, like I don't know if I want to see this fake version, this plastic corporate writer, Hollywood writer version of what Bray would have done. But then I said that not really knowing how involved, Bo Dallas or anybody else would be in creating this. They've been doing this thing where they play the VHS videos over the last 3 weeks, and admittedly, it's a little repetitive, that the delivery method. But
I've even gotten some people who don't understand the concept that like they can hack the screen, but they drop off these videos.
Right. But you know what? That's actually a really good question. Why don't they just hack the screen? Anyway, forget that. They're being spooky on purpose, right? They're assholes, right? Just imagine they're assholes.
It's for the ambiance.
The videos that have been playing have worked to demystify, and I mean that might be a bad thing for some people, but for me, turning them into just strange weirdos who just want to make art because they have loss, that actually really worked. So I was like, wait a minute, that's actually what they are. Hold on, that's really good.
Yeah.
So they did the one. Well, just to continue giving the context, and then I'll let you talk, Greg. They did the video package where they had Bo Dallas talk about what it meant to lose Bray and how he feels about it, and then they did one with Eric Rowan, where Eric Rowan talked about losing Brody first and thinking that it was all going to be okay if he can just move on, and then losing Bray, and it's like fuck. It was another great emotional promo, but
did you talk about the private stuff too?
What do you mean?
As it was explained to me, apparently also that he had some private relationship troubles at the same time, so like his life was fucking spiraling.
Oh well, he did mention that he was just having really he was spiraling out of control, and he felt like nobody cared, and then Dallas reached out to him, and he reached out his hand, and he reached out and grabbed it, and the
which is probably more real than the story probably lets on.
Right? But the line was, we're going to take our broken hearts and make some beautiful art. And I was like, oh, that's really good.
Sure.
And so now my question is, how do we do this for the rest of them? Because Eric Rowan and Bo Dallas have this built-in real-life thing that immediately connects you. I never even considered
it. It has immediate sympathy because everyone knows and everyone kind of feels it too.
Right? I never even considered that they would also honor Brody. And I was like, wow, that was actually awesome. And then later on in the night, Bo Dallas is getting jumped by Chad Gable and the Creep Bros, and he's doing the old yeah. And I was like, oh, my heart. Anyway,
I'm not completely surprised because like they made a point to point out Junior at WrestleMania.
They did, right? He was in the crowd. He'll be in the WWE in the future.
I sent you the clip. He's already training with Natty.
He is, right? That's so fucking great.
That boy knows that he. I don't want to get ahead of it because like young people grow up and they go different directions. But right now, that boy knows what he wants to do.
He's at the age where I feel like you actually can discover what you want to do and hold on to it. Yeah, he's not 30, right?
Some do.
But no. This was the same segment.
Yeah.
I just wanted to say that I'm interested in at least seeing where it's headed. I'm not so far as saying I'm sold yet, but I'm at least interested in seeing what we're gonna do with it. What's this match gonna look like, right? What does Bo Dallas, Joe Gacy, and Dexter Lumis versus the Creed Bros and Chad Gable look like? Oh no, well, Mac brings up that all these characters lost their family, but I'm like, you can't do a promo.
Dexter gain a wife?
Yeah, you can't do a promo about how they lost their fake ass wrestling faction families after doing the Brody and Bray promos. Like, those are not. That's gonna seem distasteful. I wouldn't do that.
Are they still married in story?
Yes, they never got divorced.
Yeah.
But moving on, I guess from that. All right, talking about that, Chad Gable and the Creed Bros finally got together.
Well, okay. Well, let me chime in here on the Wyatt family thing. 6 or whatever. I haven't been the biggest supporter of it on this show or biggest guy behind it on it, and I'm already having the issue with this that I did have with the initial Wyatt stuff. And let me preface, I was a Bray Wyatt fan. I liked a lot of the stuff that he did. It was very good in the beginning and all that. I always struggle with these are great segments, these are cool visuals, this is all beautifully produced and well done. How do we segue this into wrestling? I don't really know what's happening.
That's what I'm saying. At least with these guys, though, they're making them real people now.
Sure.
So I can believe them in matches. They're not like strangers.
Yeah, it's not this cartoon character Bray Wyatt with magical powers, right?
Yeah, like if you have magical powers, why don't you hit him with a lightning bolt? Hit him! Hit him with a lightning bolt! You can win this!
Once again, as I said, John, massive 90s Undertaker fan.
Kane can throw fire out of his ass, but he doesn't simply aim his ass at the Undertaker's face. I have an issue with this.
No, that was Rikishi's gimmick, brother. That was Rikishi's gimmick. Oh man. I one of the biggest issues I ended up having with Wyatt toward the end, and it was the biggest point of contention I had with people speaking about it, was the idea that people wanted to play a lot of the Bray Wyatt stuff as if it were or could be real. I fought like a dog every time somebody brought up this idea of introducing a Sister Abigail character. Yeah. And this was my whole thing about them. The whole thing, to me, the Wyatt family only works when all of that shit is bogus and they're crazy.
Yeah.
Right? Like once Sister Abigail is real, and it's like, oh, okay, he isn't crazy, this shit's real, it's just real life. Like, no, they're supposed to be crazy hillbillies that, like, talk nonsense, and how do you reason with a person who speaks nonsense?
But is that not scary enough?
I think it's scarier.
That's scary. That's scary as shit. That this fat fucking hillbilly motherfucker is over there talking about Sister Abigail told me to burn your house down. Oh, get the fuck away from me!
It's not real. Like, it's real to me. Like, what the fuck? No!
Call the police!
This man is clearly fucking hallucinating and speaking to people who aren't there. Like, that is so much more scary and concerning than, like, the fucking, like, oh no, what, Sister Abigail is real. She stands right there. Like, I guess everything he said was right.
Now it's worse because now you have to make it make sense. But no, man. Ultimately, I'm okay with waiting and seeing what's next. At least, hopefully, I won't get my hopes up so that I can't get let down. Kind of looks like CM Punk isn't cleared, but I don't know. We'll see. They did a thing where Drew just had to apologize to get a match, and he would not. He would not. He refused.
We have until my birthday. That is pretty close.
What's that?
SummerSlam.
August 3rd?
3rd.
Nice. I knew that. That's my grandma's birthday.
Nice.
But I didn't want to talk about Raw too in depth, but just the SummerSlam stories leading that are really prominent right now. We got the Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan story. Cheaters. That's so good.
Okay.
He Dunn and Sheamus is an interesting one. I didn't see that coming, but with Tyler Bate injured and Sheamus having nothing better to do.
Oh, is that what happened?
Yeah.
That sucks for him.
He doesn't like that Sheamus left him behind. But my headcanon is that he doesn't like that Sheamus named him Butch.
Nice.
Anyway, Damian Priest did a promo segment with Gunther on Monday that really came across a lot better than the stuff he's been doing as a heel with the Judgment Day. He had a really forgettable title reign, but him playing as this good guy, Rhea's friend, who keeps trying to stop this knucklehead kid from messing up his life, but he don't listen. It's coming across real well, and it really came to a head here where he's trying
is there some Puerto Rican father figure stuff going on here?
I mean, that's pretty much what he's trying to do, but like it came to a head here against Gunther where he comes up every time
he just starts cussing in Spanish.
He comes up to Gunther with this story about how he was homeless and in the streets, and Gunther is like, I don't give a fuck.
I was fat just like you were.
You street trash. He calls him street trash. Street trash like you shouldn't even be around that title. What the fuck? The story doesn't make Gunther feel bad. It makes him want the belt away from you even faster.
I want to talk to you about that. I've only seen one instance of it, so it made me laugh. I think there was somebody who felt some kind of way about the people like you line.
Oh gosh.
They had flashbacks of bad evil Hunter.
I can understand that. I think it was very close, but not close enough.
we got we're totally at the line, but not quite over it.
I think Triple H fell over the line by accident. He was trying to stay close, and he fell. He stumbled right into the thing. But Gunther played off this privileged Austrian. I want him to be like, do you know what I really like? Painting. I love painting. And I want this story.
Almost sort of like aristocratic habits of like, I play a piano because I'm rich.
No,
that's what rich people do.
No, I want him to be an Austrian painter because we can pay that off, right? What happened to the last Austrian painter who got declined from art school and decided
Sean, Sheamus did that joke and they made him delete that shit.
So you got Gunther, he just says, I love painting, and you never go back to it. You can cut to him like painting before promos and shit, but it doesn't have to be a big deal. And then one day, someone is going to call the painting ugly, and that's going to unleash a second level of Gunther. Why? Why is Gunther trying to take over NXT? What did they do to him? And why is he going to go after SmackDown next? He's just making all the NXT wrestlers dress in black tights.
Oh my God.
This is my image of the perfect wrestler. No.
They're all New Japan Young Lions.
They're all young lions. All of them. We're in a chop line. Raw chopping.
Oh
chops.
my god.
And then he has to get defeated by the American Nightmare, Cody Rhodes. You
No,
see?
they have 2 different belts on 2 different shows. So
I'm
don't do
taking this to its ultimate conclusion, Greg.
it.
You can't say I don't do long-term storytelling. That's like 2 years, baby.
If there's anything John does, it's take a thought to the natural conclusion.
I feel like you always should as people, but it's
A lot
whatever.
of people don't.
You really should. I feel like not enough people ask why or what's next. Wait,
Like,
there's
it's mostly that last part. It's like, I got to this point, which is where I want to go, okay, cool, what happens next? What? What do you mean? It's not, what do you mean it's not over? No!
no. You gotta keep living. You actually have to wake up tomorrow. Like what? Yes, life. People were surprised. People were surprised that Ethan Page let WWE trademark his name, and I was like, "There's no like." If he let WWE trademark his name at this point in time, I figured that there was out.
This is the end game?
No,
Oh,
not
okay.
even that. There's a lot of people thought he just got in and he was like, yeah, you know, he just spread his legs and this is it. I figured he's at least a little smarter than, or that any normal person in their right mind is at least a little smarter than that.
You'd hope so.
And of course, it comes out that, yeah, now in WWE, when your run is over, they will let you take your name with you. Not the one that they made, obviously, but if you came in with an established one,
Yeah.
they'll let you leave with it.
Unless you're The Rock, in which case you can buy that shit back.
You can have it back. We ain't even got to pay for it. We love it.
We gave you everything.
I think that was interesting, though. It's definitely a different WWE these days.
Oh, yeah.
There was a report that AEW is planning to run a major event in Dallas in 2025. I mean, Dallas sources told Fightful that the event is to be on par with AEW's biggest event. Assuming that means All In.
Mhm.
The assumption was that AEW is going to run AT&T Stadium. And I was like, whoa!
Is that
relax.
Cowboy Stadium?
It's a big one. 100,000 people in there.
Is that Cowboy Stadium?
Yeah. I don't fucking watch football, Greg.
I
don't know. It says AT&T on top. There's not a Cowboy in sight.
You know all these damn corporate names are boring and unremarkable.
No, there. You know what? There's 2 things I thought too. Because the first thing I thought was, wow, why would they do that? That's so big. I don't want them to not sell it out. But anytime I've ever said that about this fucking company, they go and they sell it out with flying colors, and it's like,
Sure.
oh, we could have sold 2 of them. I was like, what the fuck? It never makes any sense. I'm literally since day one, literally since before AEW existed. I remember All In. I didn't think All In would sell 10,000 tickets. I was like, man, that's a lot. I feel like we should be happy if they get.
Oh, we're referring to the original bet.
Yeah, like no, not even. I wasn't like Meltzer. You know, like oh yeah, Meltzer's right. It was just like conventional thinking, like you know.
No, I'm not saying you were on Meltzer's side, but like that's the event we're referring to.
Yeah, the original All In. They bought the they rented the Allstate Arena and they were just gonna do an indie show. No talent announced. So I was like, you know what? If it does sell out, it'll be as the talent gets announced. Like once they announce Okada and shit, you know, then they sold the shit out in 4 minutes. I was like, oh yeah, okay. And of course that happens over and over. It happens with Double or Nothing. It happens with Dynamite. The first rating over 1 million. What the fuck? You know, like
thanks for the free promotion, Ring of Honor.
Basically. So I honestly, if they do their first stadium show in America, at this point, I'd be stupid to doubt them. It's just like, you'll get it. I'm sure you will. Do you think they are?
I'm a little more skeptical of the Americans booking, but like if the card is strong enough and that fan base is ravenous enough, like I think it can happen. But that's a big ask. What was this about? You said 30,000 seat stadium? Oof.
No, 30,000? That's a baby stadium compared to this big boy. This big boy WWE filled with quote unquote 101,000 people. That's what they said.
Was that the really shitty WrestleMania?
Yes.
With Miz and Cena?
No. This is the one.
Or was it Roman and Hunter?
Yeah. This is Roman and Hunter.
Roman Hunter. Okay.
Yep.
That was a bad day.
Honestly, I think the Roman and I think the Cena. You're thinking of fuck. I was thinking of WrestleMania 25, but I don't think that was in here. But it was in Dallas. Anyway, I don't know if this.
Yeah, I remember there was a WrestleMania. I remember there was a WrestleMania in Texas, and it was awful, and even the set was boring.
Yeah, but really, this Tony Khan came out today, and he was like, we don't really have plans to do a stadium event in the near future. And I was like, motherfucker, this report said 2025. Shut up. What are you talking about? Yes, we know. So I thought Texas, first of all, is a
Let the man deny.
Texas is like a great AEW town. Texas loves AEW. Anytime I go to AEW in Texas, it's great. They deserve a pay-per-view. They always bring it. You can go to Corpus Christi with an AEW show and they'll give you a fucking reaction.
Right. That's WrestleMania 32, by the way. Roman and Hunter, yes.
It's not 34?
32.
Oh yeah, 32. You're right. I know it's an even number. Yeah. Brian, I scrolled by this quote from Bryan Danielson talking about how it's unfortunate that he and Kenny had the one match because when he came to AEW, he envisioned that they would have a series of matches. But it ended up being with Hangman instead. And I know, and we've talked about it before, how these Hangman Bryan matches, I love them. I didn't know they would be. This is one of those weird things where two people find each other, and I'm like, I didn't know they could ever be such great dance partners. What the fuck? Yeah. But of course, it made me sad because it kind of like I didn't like the tone. I didn't like the tone that we might that Brian had in his quote.
Oh yeah,
that we might never see that Kenny match.
I mean, I guess that's just like. I don't know what my schedule is going to be, and I don't know what Kenny's health is going to be. Yeah,
that's fucking. That really bums me out to so much. I love this match, and selfishly, if they never have another one, we can say we were at the only.
We were at it, yeah.
But also selfishly, God, like. It was only 30 minutes. Like, come on. Him and Hangman have had. I was gonna say him and Hangman have had like 2.5 hours worth. They've had a film worth of wrestling matches. On
one hand, I say to myself, if you only get the one, that's one more than the Kurt Angle match you were supposed to get.
Break me.
2, it's Kenny Omega seems to have this weird thing that's happened twice to him, where he does the small version of the big match, and the big match never comes.
Oh fuck! Who's the other one?
Ibushi.
Oh shit! That's right. Damn it. That's right. And I don't know if we're ever gonna get it now, considering Ibushi's condition and Kenny. Oh man.
Yeah.
This world is cruel sometimes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, being such a big fan of both wrestlers, of course, this is when we were talking about some of our favorite Dynamite moments, because it's been 250 of them. Very, very interesting to have been around at the beginning of a wrestling promotion, and I've seen every episode of it so far. Like, I've seen every one of those.
I feel like it hasn't been, and even though I wasn't watching it on day one, although I think I was there pretty early, I don't think I have felt this way since the early Ring of Honor days.
Yeah, I'm watching this.
And the early NWA TNA days. I was there for episode 1 of that.
Oh, nice! I didn't get to see. I came in and TNA was 3 years old already.
Oh no, I was there for year 1 in Nashville.
Lucky, I didn't know.
The flying Elvises. Oh.
Look, well, I don't know where they used to give. What was the TNA like before Impact? was it only weekly pay-per-views before Impact? Did they never have anything that aired?
Nope.
Fuck, that's crazy. I could have sworn
it was the weekly pay-per-view up until they got the Fox Sport 1 deal.
That's what that is. Fox Sport 1 before Spike TV.
Yes.
Because I remember they used to have the ticker on the bottom, and I used to be like, what the fuck? Like, is this match? Like, does this have to do with the wrestling? Like, am I supposed to count these? Like, this is a different show. I don't know what I'm doing here.
No, you're just supposed to treat it like every other sports event.
I didn't know that. I was young. But yeah, I remember them advertising for the move to Spike. That's when I discovered Impact. It was just about to go there. But it's been fun watching AEW go through these ebbs and flows. It's never been
growing pains for sure.
For sure, lots of them. But I don't think I've ever felt as sick of their shit. Like, because know, like,
it's going great.
I was, like I said, we were around. Like, I didn't get to be there for year 1 TNA, but you're damn right, I was there for the rest of those years. Like, there was a lot of moments where I was sick of their shit, but I stuck around anyway. Out of like, just like, I watch this. This is my habit.
Yeah.
In 5 years or however long. 5 years. I haven't felt that way with AEW yet. Not to say it's not going to happen.
Okay.
But I think what it ultimately, and I guess it might always be unless it changes, is that the things that fall on their ass are usually either something so fucking stupid that we can just be like, this is ridiculous, and we have months and months and months of material to talk about. It's fucking dumb. And it doesn't really affect the product to the point where I hate myself for watching it, even though it got close to that. It got a little close in the end of 2023 where I was like, oh, we're making a lot of weird decisions here. I don't agree with half these things. But then you always have the wrestling to fall back on. And I think because of my preferences, it's not going to take much to get me to watch the show that has the great 20-minute matches on it. Like, it's not, even if it's, some of the things aren't working the way I want them to work, or I'm like, scratching my head, like, why would they do this and not that? Like, how could you make this move? I'll always, like I said, not doing the Young Bucks versus FTR at the first Wembley Stadium for all the tag team titles on the line.
Ridiculous. What a miss. Why would you?
That is like the biggest. I don't know if I'll ever get over that.
It's like watching the fastball go down the middle and just not swinging at it.
What happened? But I've really enjoyed my time here, man, so far. And this moment right here, having been there, my favorite. But Greg, I didn't get to ask you, of all the Dynamites you've seen, have you got a favorite moment or match?
Do I have a favorite moment or match? Selfishly, I have a weird choice for favorite match.
Oh, what is it?
Because it has to do with being there live, and it has to do with it being unexpected. And unexpected, something I never thought I'd actually see. I was there live in Queens for Grand Slam, and I thought what was, in my personal opinion, the final Sting banger.
Haha. That was a fucking excellent match.
I didn't know he still had it in him. As far as I'm concerned, it was the last one he had in him. And yeah, it was a tag match, but it was the final Sting banger with him and Darby versus FTR. And there it is on the screen. Yeah.
That was so good.
Can I point out the fact that Bryce dumbass Westbrook looks like he's playing air guitar?
He is. He's actually giving his power to Sting through the power of music.
Fucking Christ.
I think he's calling for the bell, if I remember.
In what tune?
A minor.
Drop D? No! Damn it! Oh, good night, everybody. I'm going home.
No, same show though. Same show. People talk about that moment that opened Dynamite Grand Slam. You know, Brian
5 a.m.
and
I'm
Kenny.
getting too loud.
Yeah, we're almost there. They talk about that moment at Grand Slam, Brian and Kenny, that opens the show, and they're like, the crowd is just losing their shit, and the bell hasn't even rung yet. And for me, having been in the crowd for that moment, that is my moment. The Brian match and the Kenny match is the match, but it's also my moment, because it was just, I don't know if I can explain it. The way they lit it, you know, they lit each match a different way too. I don't know if they still do that, but they lit Brian and Kenny with like cloudy dream colors, and it felt like we were in this euphoric dream state, and everyone was in agreement. Like, how is this happening? How are we here right now?
Yeah,
that was special.
Everyone's doing the Hot Ones gimmick. Like, look at us.
Look at it's a sea of 20,000 Paul Rudds. Look at us.
Honorable mention, because it was unexpected. It's an absolutely nothing moment, but for me, it meant the world, and it never made TV. Them playing Taz out to the actual War Machine track.
Oh,
only for the live show.
I forgot that happened. You're right.
Oh, I heard the song. I was like, wait, that's not right. Oh my God, they're playing War Machine. ECW all over again.
They know how to get that in-house pop. Damn it. We're here. It's just for us. Turn on that illegal music.
We didn't pay for any of this.
You know, I used to do that Ring of Honor. They play all the old songs they didn't know in the middle, in the intermission.
Yeah, they did.
But yeah, that was a special night. I didn't even touch that again. I've been to many AEW events, and I haven't touched that.
Yeah, I went to a second Grand Slam, and it wasn't as good as this one.
I don't know if there ever will be. This was just, it was their first stadium show. It felt like you were going to this. I've only had this feeling a couple times, and it's when I went to the first NXT takeover, and it felt like, whoa, like, oh shit, they're putting this kind of wrestling in this kind of building. And I can only imagine that the people who went to the first All In had that feeling, like, wow, like we're having this under these lights with this production level. And like that's the feeling I felt when we got AEW in that building. They had the elevated stage. It felt like we were at like their little WrestleMania thing. It was special, and it was a fucking episode of Dynamite. Like, dude, we gotta get back to that. We're there though, but we're doing pretty damn good. But yeah, I mean, shit. There's not much left to talk about this week. There's Willow Nightingale. She's so great. She's the champion in CMLL now. That's always fucking great. Anytime somebody fails.
Once again, an unfortunate situation has benefited Willow Nightingale.
She's Willow Moxley. Anytime, it don't matter what company. She will be there with the power of positivity and unicorns. She will be
Nothing
there.
matters. Smile.
I love that so much. I love that. I have preached that to my children. Nothing matters. Smile anyway.
Nothing matters. We're on a small rock in the middle of nowhere space.
It's only significant if you decide it is. How freeing is that? Anyway.
Something pale blue dot.
Natalia re-signed. I can't.
Natalia re-signed in the same way that they remember to re-up a one of their patents.
That's actually how it happened. Apparently.
Oh, did this one out? Crap.
they were quote unquote tipped off that Natalia leaving was a real possibility. Like, what the fuck? What the fuck? Were you not like? What did you think would happen if you didn't re-sign her? What would she do? Like, what the fuck? Anyway.
Last thing we need is her going to AEW and making those girls better.
Seriously, no, we don't want to send them the best possible coach. They're already getting their shit together. Don't send them the last piece they need.
Some of them already go to the school.
Conan mentioned it wasn't even Conan. It was some dude. Some dude on the podcast, on the Conan podcast, said that Stephanie McCurr went to WWE because they gave her a better offer and they laid out a better plan for her, but also because she got left at the airport at Forbidden Door. And I was like, those three things are so those are not even in the same fucking country of reasons why somebody would join a company. A better money offer, a better laid out plan, and they left me at the airport. What the fuck? So if they had picked you up, would the other things have not mattered? I really don't feel like that story is broken.
My brain says it's pro wrestling. How many airports have you probably been left at by now?
Do pro wrestlers not like Ubers? Or like what? Anyway, I get it. No, if that really happened, I can't say I feel like, oh no. I mean, I don't really like take an Uber, I guess. Like if they said they were gonna pick you up and they didn't, then damn, that's fucked up. If they didn't say that, then and you were just like, man, there was nobody at the airport with a sign with my name on it, like, dude, take a fucking Uber. What the fuck? Get out of here.
Yeah, I can always suggest, maybe do what you've been doing for the rest of your career and rent a fucking car. I don't know.
Well, guess what you're going to be doing in the WWE? Because they don't pay for that shit.
No, they don't. No, they don't.
They don't pick you up at the airport either. What the fuck?
And chances are you ain't getting the goddamn bus, so, whatever.
That's great, too. That's the CM Punk thing always made me laugh, too.
The
I
bus?
was on the train.
Oh, yeah, that.
The airport thing. I was on the train. I know, that's called transportation. Motherfucker, you could have taken Uber too. Why'd you take the train? It's Europe, not fucking a third world country.
You thought it was an adventure.
I just want to play victim.
We went to Ring of Honor, and me and my good friend, I'm sorry, I'm gonna say this again because I like name dropping it. It was the Kobashi show, and
motherfucker.
And on the train, we saw Nigel McGuinness backed up on his way to the venue.
Oh, that's harder to see because he's on his way to Ring of Honor show. So you're like, damn it, Nigel. Yeah. I know you ain't
my homie. My homie even offered him the seat, like Mr. McGuinness, do you want it? He's like, I'm good. I was like, all right.
He's like, I don't want to sit next to you, motherfuckers.
Just passing across this, you might have known, but I didn't. In a year filled with many tournaments, we are in the summer of tournaments, as it tends to be in Japanese professional wrestling, with both the 5-star Grand Prix and the G1 Climax. The NXT, they've made announcements for the N1. Is it the N1? What is it, John?
I just call it the N1. But you're right, it does have a longer name.
Yes, it does. For the N1 something.
It's the N1 Victory.
The N1 Victory, yes, thank you. The N1 Victory tournament, where 2 NXT stand-ins were announced. Olympic wrestler Tavion Heights, one of the few Olympians that have survived the recent purgings. Yeah. And one Josh Briggs. Interesting choices there.
Was Josh Briggs in Evolve? Was he? Because his name sounds familiar, but I might be thinking of Josh Woods.
You might be thinking of Woods, yeah.
Yeah. Listen,
I've seen Briggs around it. Yeah, I can't say Evolve was one of them.
Sending 2 guys in NXT to Japan for a tour is literally like exactly what I would ask WWE to do with NXT guys. Why the fuck didn't you send Obafemi? That's what my problem is. Fuck you. Drop that belt.
Obafemi is perfectly over as he is right now.
No, I don't need him to get over. I need him to get experience in Japan. Send it on a fucking Japanese tour.
At that point, I start saying to myself, that's not what WWE is looking for.
No, I mean, listen, you can get him as over as you fucking want, but when he's not gonna be able to rest his laurels on a storyline where he can grapple Dom's crotch. You know, like he is gonna have to fucking wrestle.
I have never believed that is a place where they have to worry about you being able to wrestle.
I would ask you to update that mindset a little bit, because the company has really, they don't focus on work rate. Definitely, they never will. But they're not as willing to put bad wrestlers in significant positions as they once were, because they actually do have matches longer than 8 minutes on TV now, especially on Raw, on the 3-hour show, where they need to fill in that time. It's kind of what happened with Omos, where Omos under Vince was getting significant time on TV, and Omos under Triple H doesn't exist on TV because he was called up too soon, because the motherfucker can't actually work. It's a little different. So I think they would really benefit from making sure that Obafemi has all the proper experience before bringing him up and wasting.
Well, they decided he's good enough for a championship.
Yeah, but NXT championships don't matter. Like, they gave Kaylani Jordan the belt to test her. This is how much
That's a weird choice.
This is how much they don't matter in NXT. Like, they gave him the NXT North American Championship to test him, and he passed with flying colors. Kaylani Jordan, unfortunately, she was rough, and then she had the great match with Sol Ruka, and now we'll see what comes from that. But
oh yes, the complicated emotions of one Dave Meltzer match.
People are really mad because he said that. I don't know. People are gonna be really mad when I agree. No, no, it's there. Do you
understand the problem?
No, I mean I understand what people were saying, like, but it's the same thing that Ricochet and Ospreay did. And then at that point, I say, isn't that exactly what he's saying? It is exactly.
I think the problem there is that he rated that quite highly.
But that's the thing here. I understand what he was saying, and I can see the difference. I think if you're looking at the Will Ospreay and Ricochet spot, and you look at this Sol Ruka and Kaylani Jordan spot, it's exactly the same spot. I mean, it's exactly the same spot. I mean, it's literally exactly the same spot. So why would the second literal version of the first one not look choreographed compared to the first time you saw it, where you didn't know what the next thing was going to be? When you saw the Ospreay Ricochet thing, you didn't know what the fuck they were about to do next. It was like, whoa, where's this coming from?
I would argue it did look choreographed.
I mean, yeah, obviously, a lot of things they do, all the things that they did at that time period did. Like that, I feel like that, I guess we're using the word in two different ways. Like the same exact word.
So I guess that the difference here is we are talking about the difference between something looking choreographed and something predictable.
Yeah, like, I mean, I guess, but like, you can, something choreographed and predictable is really bad. I mean, everything is choreographed. But but if it's choreographed and you know what's coming next, that's another level that takes a whole level of enjoyment away from it.
Sure.
And it's not the same thing. I can very easily enjoy one and be like, this one's not the same. This is an impression.
I got thrown off a bit, but now I saw 1 day ago that Marigo Joshi announced the Dreamstar Grand Prix 2024 round robin tournament is now coming for them. So within only a few shows, they have announced the Grand Prix tournament.
That's where they need to send some of these girls, the NXT girls, to Mighty Gold for a fucking tour.
I would be concerned about that.
No, fuck that. If they can't do that, then they should go. Then they should bye-bye. Oh no, your knee. You should have been better. You should have been better at this by now. Now you have to go. Now it's not like they're gonna beat them up. You know, it's like they're just gonna wrestle.
I think most of them. I think a lot of them will be taken aback by the skill and putting that, not the skill, the style, and like putting them in that situation. That's a lot of fire for a lot of them. We watched Jeff Cobb fall apart in that first one.
Then now look at Jeff Cobb.
But Jeff Cobb got to stay there.
I'm saying though, they do a tour, they go back to NXT with experience, they know what not to do. It's not like they're gonna spend years there, but essentially they're gonna be pulling these girls too. They're gonna be poaching girls from Mighty Gold. They're gonna be bringing over Japanese girls who wrestle that kind of style, and they're never gonna mesh.
Yeah.
It's never gonna work unless you're co-mingling in a different level like that. Because it's not just for NXT at that point. You're also gonna teach the girls at Mighty Gold how to work these big, awkward, dumb bitches. It's two sides. There's two sides to this. Whereas I don't think Noah's gonna have to deal with that. I just think Mighty Gold has a lot of newer girls, younger girls too. But it's got that'll be interesting to see this fall. But now we've pretty much gone through the week of pro wrestling as far as I can tell in just under 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
that's 7 days. But yeah, Craig, did you have anything else to talk about today?
No, I didn't. I just saw that Mighty Gold thing, and also I see they got some. They showed off some artwork for the new tag championships. It's always fun to watch a new company just start rolling stuff out.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. I expect they'll be around for a long time.
Yep.
But yeah, so that was us. That's Dirt Sheet Radio. That's This Week in Pro Wrestling News and Rumors. I know it's 5 a.m. where you guys are.
Yeah, it is.
People are waking up. They're getting ready for work. If you are wanting to take us with you, you know where to find us. You can also find the Dirt Sheet Radio, a Dirt Sheet Radio program every single day of the week. Mondays we'll be doing Raw recaps. Tuesdays we're doing NXT. Wednesdays we're doing Dynamite. Thursdays we're doing Impact. Fridays we're doing SmackDown. There's a large team of us. It's not always the same people on, so if you have a team of hosts that you like in particular, too bad. Find out when they're on and follow them specifically. But ultimately, thank you for joining us, folks. This has been fun, as it always is. That's the wrong graphic. Hi, Gilbert.